Big update, guys, in the P. Diddy case with a new legal guys, another hearing. We got another hearing, guys, and this one is a pretty big one. Hey guys, it's Murad Morali, daily and consistent content. Let's get straight into this video where, guys, it's been announced that the court set a hearing on the defense's motion to acquit or for a new trial for Thursday, September 25th at 11 a.m. This will take place, guys, at the 500 Pearl Street, where, you know, it's been going for the past, trial. Now, this is pretty big news. Pretty big news, major news. Judge Arun, guys, did not deny this hearing. He has allowed this to take place, which goes to show you that he is trying to be extremely fair. I don't think that Judge Arun is going to acquit Diddy of these two Mann Acts. He's not going to say, you know what, you're right, let's scrub off the two Mann Act charges, you don't need them. That's not going to happen, because if that were to take place, then, what is the sentencing for? Because all the charges would have been gone. And also, Judge Arun ain't like that. He's denied Diddy the bail multiple times. He's not going to sit there and allow that. But for the fact that Judge Arun has allowed a hearing to take place for the defense to argue for why Diddy should deserve acquittal or a new trial, to me is dangerous waters. I feel like we are in dangerous waters now. It has also been confirmed that P. Diddy will also be present during this hearing, and this will be the first time that he will be present since the trial took place. So that in itself is definitely going to kick up some momentum. I think that this is a tactic. Of course, Diddy wants to look the judge in the eye. He was there. I remember I was there when he said to the judge, you know what, you've done a great job, just want to let you know that. And I was also there when he wanted to speak and everybody was shocked, but then the lawyer told him to shut up, and he did. So him wanting to be there is a tactical move that the lawyers have advised him to do, so to say, look, we want you to be there because we want you to look Judge Arun in the eyes, cry, or look empathetic or sympathetic, and that you've learned your lesson so that something could take place. Now, from this hearing, which takes place in 2 weeks, if Judge Arun grants Diddy to a new trial, guys, we are going down the wrong road. We are going to go through this all over again. We just did this in the summer. I don't want to take up the rest of my year covering the P. Diddy trial, honestly, because I feel like this particular next trial for Diddy is just going to be a bit pointless because it's two Mann Act charges. He is trying to change the definition of what a prostitute is. He also basically confirmed that he basically was a John. He was somebody trying to get these, and B, his lawyer confirmed that he was violent. So you've got these two things that are going to act against him in regards to the defense. I don't know what argument they have prepped. Also, I do believe that the sentencing memo that the defense have to provide and that the prosecution have to provide prior to the sentencing will also be provided a week or so before this hearing on September 25th, which means that memo that they're both gonna put forward for the sentencing is going to influence this hearing on September 25th. I believe it will, definitely, to an extent. Of course, Judge Arun will keep it all into good restriction because he's great at what he does. Honestly, he is, outside of the jurors. But I think that this is dangerous waters now. Also, I want to get into the fact that Maureen Comey is no longer part of the prosecution side. As we know, she was fired via Trump, mainly because, her father is James Comey, but that's a whole, different conversation. I think that because Maureen Comey is not present anymore, and I've spoken with others as well, and they also can see this, the prosecution could be slightly weaker, slightly more subdued, slightly more vulnerable, and the defense are going to use this to hone in on them. 110%, they're going to mention that Maureen Comey is not here anymore. Mark Agnifilo and Maureen Comey are not enemies outside the courthouse, but when they're in that courthouse, everything's out the damn window. Everyone's an enemy of anybody. Guys, I don't want Diddy to be granted this new trial. Hopefully, the ideal outcome that I would want is that Judge Arun denies Diddy from a new trial or acquittal. But at the end of the day, Diddy is entitled, or his lawyers are entitled for him to fight for whatever he wants to fight for. So this is what he's fighting for now. And for the fact that Judge Arun has granted this and not immediately denied him and shushed him away, he has granted this hearing, to me is dangerous waters. I don't know why. I feel like this is different to a bail. This is very different to the bail hearings that Judge Arun granted. I don't think you can compare, Judge Arun denied the bails before, this is going to be okay. I don't think that you can compare the two, because this is very different, because the trial's been done and finished now. Certain charges have been acquitted. The biggest enemies are that Mark Agnifilo said that his client is violent, and for the fact that Diddy admits that he basically was this kind of John and that he wants to change the definition of prostitution, basically saying that he was doing XYZ. That, I feel like, are the two biggest things that they have to argue. And I don't know which way this is going to go. The October 3rd sentencing and this September 25th hearing is all happening roughly within a week. September 25th is Thursday, October 3rd is Friday. Yeah, it's all happening, guys, within a week and one day. So this is going to be a pretty big week for P. Diddy to find out what's going to happen. I don't think that the motion and attention and media press are going to be as big as it was on verdict day. I feel like verdict day was peak when all media press were there. I don't think most are going to be there. I think it is a natural process for lawyers to fight for their clients and ask for a new trial. That is a natural process that a lot of people have done for their clients, and most, if not all, have had it all denied. So this could just be a natural process, a regulation that Diddy's trying to fight, and it's going to be denied, just like his bails were. But you never know with this case, guys, because the jurors came out smiling and were given interviews, and that was the last thing that I expected, considering that they were a mixed jury verdict. And Diddy himself was basically talking about how prejudice has slipped into the jurors because there was a mixed verdict, trying to use the jurors against themselves when the jurors were the ones that were acquitted him of, this most serious charges. So all of these jurors coming out smiling, apparently prejudice has slipped over and has slipped in, and those are the reasons for why he's fighting for this new trial. So this is going to be an intense hearing which takes place at 11 a.m. on September 25th. We're going to see what the defense are going to say. I feel like for Maureen Comey not there, they're just going to seem psychologically weaker than the defense with, Diddy's army of lawyers, especially Mark Agnifilo, who can work a crowd well, but the crowd is not there anymore. The jurors have done their job, and so it's just going to be against Judge Arun, and Judge Arun, guys, is not going to let Diddy slip away from his fingers. I don't think he will. If it's going to be a new trial, guys, I guess it's going to be a new trial. If it's going to be a new trial, guys, then we have to go through this all over again. And if that does happen, hopefully all of this wraps up before Luigi Mangione, because that case is starting in January, February, and that is going to be a lot more bigger than P. Diddy, in my opinion, because of the media circus around him and the fact that, murder within itself is basically being not normalized, but this is a murder where people are supportive of to some kind of level of extent because of healthcare issues. So that in itself is just a big turning point, a big conversation starter. So that is a big case, guys, that I feel like we are going to get into when it takes place in January, February, and just basically see where that goes. So pretty big news in regards to this hearing. I wanted to break it all down with all my points in terms of what the lawyers can argue for and against, Maureen Comey no longer being there, Judge Arun granting this hearing, what's going to happen next, P. Diddy also being present, a lot of different things that I wanted to outline. Let me know your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this video. Do subscribe to the channel, comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It's just one click to subscribe. It really goes a long way, guys. I would really appreciate it. Join Marauder Nation, become a Marauder. Send a tip if you guys wish to. There's a $sign there. It really does go a long way. And what are your thoughts on this hearing? What do you think is going to happen? Buckle up is all I'm going to say to you guys. Shit is about to get intense all over again for a good week. By the end of September, October, I want this shit to be over and done with. By the sentencing, we can fully wrap up this conversation and move the fuck on. But as of right now, we can't do that. We're stuck in emotion until that sentencing is given. Let alone, you have Anna and her case with Diddy, which is about to happen soon. And Lil Rodney's. Anyways, let me wrap this up and I'll catch you guys soon.